Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jason Voorhees channel. I'm Jason V, and today I'll be covering the history of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was and still is an artist loved by many and an icon of pop in general. Many adults and kids alike all looked at him in a positive light. So in honor of his memory, let's take a look at the history of Michael Jackson. We all know hit songs such as Billie Jean and The Way You Make Me Feel. I always like to say that like an Italian. You would think Michael started from humble beginnings. Well, your guess was incorrect. See, he was always in the spotlight. Michael was born on August 29, 1958. He was born in Gary, Indiana, and Chicago. In 1964, Michael joined the Jackson 5, which became quite popular in the 1960s. It was a family sort of brand, but if there was any sort of mistakes, his father would hear about it. Jackson's father was an abusive person. And actually abusive prick who beat his kids regularly. Unfortunately, this is norm for the time. The first single, Big Boy, was released in 1968, and the January 1978, I Want You Back became the first Jackson 5 song to reach number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Moving on to Michael Jackson's adult career, in 1977, Michael moved to New York City to star as the Scarecrow in The Wiz. Unfortunately, it bombed at the office. In 1978, Jackson broke his nose during a dance routine. And, yeah. Michael's fifth solo album, Off the Wall, established him as a solo performer and made him progress to a more modern sound than from his Jackson 5 days. The album was a smash hit with 4 hitting the top 10 entries such as She's Out of My Life, Off the Wall, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and Rock With You. He won a music award in 1981 with favorite soul R&B album made soul R&B male music artist. Michael Jackson also did collaborations with other artists. I actually didn't know this, but Jackson collaborated with Freddie Mercury. The 3 songs State of Shock, Victory, and There Must Be More to Life Than This. The only reason this is known now because this was all supposed to be a set duet in the album, but Jackson's relationship with Mercury soured during the Mercury's drug use. So instead, the songs were released in 2014. Michael also recorded the song State of Shock with Mick Jagger from Jackson's album Victory. The album Thriller released in 1982 and became the best-selling album worldwide in 1983. But of course, it was because it had Billie Jean and Beat It on it. Michael Jackson's solo performance of Billie Jean earned him first Emmy Award nomination. To skip ahead a bit and not make this video super long, in the mid-1980s, Michael's skin got paler, and if you don't know before, Michael had a medium brown skin color before this, so something was definitely up. People were gossiping that he may have been bleaching his skin. Turns out he was diagnosed with lupus and vitiligo. This is a condition where patches of skin start to lose their pigment, and the skin being sensitive to sunlight, Jackson had to start wearing fair-colored makeup and creams to cover up the uneven blotches of color caused by the illness. Michael was affected by the rumors, saying, "When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me. To be honest, I actually did think he did something to his skin because he didn't like being black, so I'm glad I decided to research this to bring forth the evidence I have now." Michael had a relationship with Debbie Rowe, who eventually became his second wife, and they had 2 kids together. After a while to deal with his vitiligo, Jackson resorted to getting cosmetic procedures. In his words, he didn't want to look like a spot cow. Honestly, this illness seems crippling, and it's horrible that Jackson had to deal with this in his later years. Later in 1993, Jackson was accused of child sexual assault from 13-year-old boy Jordan Chandler. But let's just say he accused him more than touchy-touchy. Jordan's mother actually doubted the claims. Long story short, no charges were pressed. Michael never got to jail, and the case was closed on September 22, 1994. Jackson had been taking painkillers for a reconstruction of scalp surgeries administered due to the Pepsi commercial accident in 1984 and became dependent on them to cope with the stress of the sexual abuse allegations. So Jackson had several other child sexual assault accusations, but they never ended him in jail. But if he did, he would have served 20 years. This affected Michael's mind, so he was stressed, and it affected his health too. Also, the FBI found no criminal conduct on Jackson's behalf. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson died from cardiac arrest. Turns out, the various medications he was prescribed for his sleep troubles may have played a part in his death. In honor of his memory, MTV and BET aired marathons of Michael Jackson's music videos. It went on for hours with live news specials, reactions from the MTV personalities, and other celebrities. Michael Jackson's death was a homicide, and his doctor, Murray, was convicted for 4 years of jail time. God. What the fuck? In short, Michael Jackson's life was spectacular, full of ups and downs. He led an extraordinary life, influenced many musicians and people along the way. We can certainly consider him the king of pop to this day. I hope you all enjoyed my video. If you liked it, slap the like button.